Outside the Brand, and guys, this ain't your normal review of a show, like a post-show of a Raw or SmackDown, NXT, AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, or anything like that. Guys, the news broke yesterday that CM Punk, Mr. Phil Brooks, got fired by AEW. I want to let everybody know that this is not a work. This is not some storyline. This is legit. And I got my guy Love here with me, who has been very adamant about the problems that CM Punk has been bringing to AEW. And I want to let him have the floor. I want to let him talk his talk. I want to let him just, give his piece on the whole situation. We're here to talk about CM Punk getting fired from AEW. And we're going to get into the real reasonings. We're going to get into, everything when it comes to the situation that was at hand. We're going to get into everything that was happening at that point in time, our thoughts about the whole thing. And we're just going to break things down like we always do. So, if you guys have any problems with the things that we are most likely going to be saying here, and that's on you guys. These are our thoughts. These are our opinions. Let's get into everything, Loft. How are you feeling, my man, on this Sunday afternoon, just before AEW All Out in Chicago? Yesterday we learned that CM Punk is no longer with the company, and now he is gone from professional wrestling, so to speak. How you feeling about it all, man? Look at you. Look at you. I feel like you got like this entire cloak of AEW. Just everything's right in the world now. Like look at you. You're happy. You're cheesing. You're a smiling boy.
Man.
How you feeling, bro? CM Punk is gone.
Today's a great day. You know what I'm saying? Jesus woke me up. Amen. Jesus woke us all up. Amen. But yesterday was a better day. I just got done talking to Phil as he was on his way to over here, and I hung the phone up, and I'm walking towards the back of my home, and I see CM Punk fired, and I'm like, no, there's no way he got fired. And at this exact same time, I see a report from AEW. Now, those can obviously be doctored. So I was like, I'm lying. The first thing I did, I went into Discord and I told them. And they were like, no, you're lying. And I was like, I might be lying. Let me check first. I go to Twitter and there's so much footage. There's so many reports of saying the same thing. And I just fell to my knees and just started crying of happiness. It was just like, it was like the beginning of like Titanic or some shit. It was just like pure joy, and then flowers fell and shit. And I think I saw I saw God like come out of the sky and just like stare at me for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just like, this is what I've been asking for.
Yeah.
This is what I've been waiting for, and this is what happens. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens when you have a company that gives you everything you want: a world championship, a real world championship,
Literally everything.
Bro, I don't know if you realize it. You may have realized this, but I don't know. And I didn't realize this until I was watching another podcast. On the official release thing that Tony released, it said they released Punk from contracts, not contract. So,
I know we're gonna get into everything. We're gonna read. We're gonna read all of it. We're gonna get down to everything, bro. We're gonna read everything. I got it all right here for you guys. Guys, let's get into that statement. Here it is from AEW, from Tony Khan himself. This is what it ultimately reads, and I have it here on my phone. That way I don't have to read that small print. Statement from All Elite Wrestling and Tony Khan. All Elite Wrestling, AEW has terminated the wrestler and employment agreements between Phil Brooks, CM Punk, and AEW with cause effective immediately. The termination was confirmed today by Tony Khan, CEO, General Manager, and Head of Creative of AEW. Thank you, Tony Khan. We know exactly what you do in that company. He has a ton of hats in AEW. The termination follows a week-long internal investigation of an incident occurring backstage at AEW All in London on Sunday, August 27th. Following the investigation, the AEW Discipline Committee met and later convened with outside legal counsel before making an unanimous decision and recommendation to Khan that CM Punk be terminated with cause. Khan offered the official following statement, and I quote, "Phil played an important role within AEW, and I thank him for his contributions. The termination of his AEW contracts with cause is ultimately my decision and mine alone. Of course, I wish I didn't have to share this news, which may come to a disappointment to many of our fans. Not us over here, but it could. um, Fans, nevertheless, I am making the decision in the best interest of the many amazing people who make AEW possible every week, our talent, staff, venue operators, and many others who efforts are unsung but essential to bringing our fans great shows and television and at arenas and stadiums throughout the world." End quote. So, like Loft said, this the wording of this was definitely, deliberated. It was proofread. It was sent out to, all the public relations that happened in AEW to really make sure that all of this was able to be said in a, calmly manner and thorough manner. Loft said contracts. This agreement, this, press release of Punk's firing said contracts. That's big, bro, because, by assumption, we all thought that this man was just hired to be a professional wrestler. But by the way that things were looking, and by the things that were happening in front of us, he could have had a small managerial type of role, which obviously led to some things happening backstage.
To get people to like leave the shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That makes more sense
So,
now.
I mean, and because of all of this, man, look, I've been listening to many people all throughout the weekend trying to talk about their shit when it comes to all of this kind of a thing. And, based on what was reported, you know, we saw everything that happened with the whole Jack Perry situation. There are many different stories about how Jack Perry was the one to first do something. CM Punk was the one to first did something. All this kind of a deal. I saw a report not too long ago, like a couple of days before everything happened with the whole CM Punk firing, that these two got in such an altercation that monitors fell on Tony Khan, and it was that big of a situation to where Samoa Joe and Miro had to separate these guys because these guys were just going at it backstage. Now, like I said, we don't know what happened at All Out or All In.
Mm.
All Out's tonight, and we'll get to what we think about All Out in just a little bit. But dude, with everything that was reported, who are you to even think that like you can either just lunge at your employer and expect to keep your job? And
Bro,
expect to keep
I ain't gonna lie.
your job. Like
If
if
they
I
ever
lunged at you and I was at your place of work,
oh
I'm not expecting to keep my job.
bro, if they ever release that footage, if I see a video of CM Punk lunging at Tony Khan, I might die. I might actually, that might be one of the hardest laughs I've ever had in my life. If I see footage of Punk trying to kill
Yeah.
Tony Khan, I might laugh because That is the funniest visual to me. It, it doesn't even make sense how you would even go about that and then come back to work the next week. And then you just like, 'cause I was more surprised by what Tony said on Collision, talking about he feared for his life. I'm like, what did he do? What happened to where Tony
Well,
feared for
dude,
his life?
yeah,
I was like, oh,
yeah, I got
oh
no
man,
idea when it comes to that. That was a very ballsy move by Tony Khan uh, to go make a statement. Obviously the fans must have been booing when that video played on the big screen of the show. And then I
huh,
don't know if you saw this or not, but he was actually out there. Did you
yeah,
see the clip
hmm
of Tony Khan standing on the stage and the fans were just raining boos, and he was like, "Okay, okay,
he gets my respect for
I
that.
understand where you
But
guys are coming,"
that
like
takes a
all that
lot.
kind of thing. I
I respect him.
I feel bad. I felt bad for Tony Khan at that point in time because I mean, yes, he kind of set himself up for standing out there like that and just the rains of booze. But dude, I mean, come on, that y- y- hey,
Hey,
it is a thing. Now with all of this being said, because I want to get into all of this here because Tony Khan did what he thought was best for the company, and honestly, when it all comes down to it, he should be doing that on a regular basis.
yeah,
You should be doing that on a regular basis. I understand that, things happen. I understand you want to be, friendly with your talent and friendly with the employers that you have. And look, I don't have a problem with him as a person, to be friendly with your employers, to be friendly with the people that you work with. That's not a problem to me. What is a problem to me is when you don't put your foot down in situations where you know you should. And that's the only problem I have with Tony Khan as a boss ever, because he wasn't ever truly being a boss for putting that foot down and actually getting down to the nitty gritty when it counted. Is
okay,
that fair to say? I mean, him being
yeah,
friendly with his people, that's cool. But
hmm
when when it needs to be happening, you need to be a boss and put your foot down at the end of the day.
listen, I just got off work. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go back to work tomorrow. Stupid shit. But that's what I gotta do. I'm friendly with my boss. You know what I'm saying? We can talk
Happens.
about like basketball and shit. I love my boss. But I'm not going to just lunge at him after he tells me that I gotta like go do something real quick. I'm not gonna just try to swing at him because most likely I'm not gonna be there tomorrow. They're gonna fire me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So at the end of the day, wrestlers, sports entertainers, whatever you want to call them, it's still a job. And the job, at your job, you can't
Yes.
do what he did. You know what I'm saying? If you work at McDonald's, it's very bad for your boss to just as soon as you get there, hey, you want to be a manager, you don't know what you're doing, you wanna have control of things. You can like people all you want, but everything that he did was just wrong. You know what I'm saying? Everything that CM Punk did was like that's like the way old rappers used to leave their labels. They would like punch their manager and the labels would drop them. CM Punk did what you're supposed to do when you're leaving a company. So that part of me makes me think that he wanted to go, which at that point, even better. I don't know. I
Do
don't
you think
care
do you think
how
he do you think
what.
he ultimately made the decision himself, like in his brain, that he was going to do everything in his power to try to get himself fired from the company?
It's very possible. It's very I can't say yes or no because I'm not the man. But I mean, listen. Either way, I don't care how he did it or why he did it. As long as he's going, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, yeah.
for all the people who's like, oh yeah, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, we already went through this. Okay. Y'all know he's not going to go back over there. He doesn't like Triple H. He's called Triple H many
He
different
can't
names.
go
Now
back to WWE. The
Triple H has
bridges
more
were
authority
already
than what he
burnt,
had.
bro. The bridges were already
No.
burnt. He's not going to WWE. He's not going to Impact. He's not going to
Oh,
go to the local independent rinky dink promotions over there in your local gym or whatever. It's not going to happen. He's done. He's done with professional wrestling. And I would be very shocked if any of these companies want him. Because If I don't, if you don't remember this, dude, remember when Triple H said he's your problem now?
Yeah.
He's not anymore. He's not anymore. He's gone.
And
He's gone.
plus the world heavyweight champion, the current world heavyweight champion already went out. Remember when 2K was about to come out and the dude asked
Yes.
Rollins
Yes.
what he thought about it, and Rollins just eviscerated him. You think they're gonna if it comes down to it, you think Triple H is gonna listen to CM Punk over Seth Rollins? Do you really think that? The world heavyweight
No.
champion, the man who they
No.
decided to put that side of the company on, you think if
Of
Rollins says
course
no,
not.
if if Rollins has that much pull back there, if Roman has that much pull, if there's so many
Right.
people in
Right.
in that company that very well
Right.
cannot want CM Punk back in there. Not
No,
to
but here's the
mention,
thing. Here's the
you
thing.
have what?
Roman might have pull. Seth might have pull. Charlotte might have pull. I know Charlotte has nothing to do with this,
Oh
but
yeah,
I'm just saying, like, people that might have pull within the company to do whatever they need to do. They might have pull within the company, but they're not, going to somebody and saying, "Hey, nah, you can't do that." Like, "Hey, nah, you can't do this." Like, he wasn't like, they're not managerial. They're not in the promoter's shoes to where they gotta say, like, are like the promoters or producers role where they have to like meet with the talent and go through what they need to go through. That's not them. Their job is to put their head down, work, do your business, and get the fuck out. And at the end of the day, I think that's what Punk should have done, but he ultimately didn't.
Tony made it easy for him. Tony made it as easy as imagine if you went to work tomorrow and they made you your own office. They named it the Phil store. They you could clock in and clock out whenever you wanted. You could do. They made
Dude,
everything for accommodate for you. And you come in there. Nah, I'm mad. What are you angry about? He gave you your
what
own
am I mad for?
show on Saturday. He gave you
Yeah.
your own show with Dennis
Yeah.
Rodman.
Yeah, it was a terrible time slot, but yes, he gave you your own
Yeah,
show. Now, I
like
want to
come
say
on.
now I want to say this real quick too. There's a difference between defending yourself and getting yourself into a situation where you're causing a physical altercation with somebody. Now, people would ask me, Phil, what is he even defending himself for? Jack Perry didn't like. Jack Perry did the wrong. Jack Perry pulled the cameraman to him and said, "Real glass, cry me a river." That was wrong. That was wrong, and I don't care what anybody says. I know, people are just gonna blame CM Punk for what he did backstage, all that kind of a thing. Jack Perry didn't need to say that. Didn't need to do any of that. And I stand by that. I've always stood by that. As soon as the reports first came out. But it wasn't because of CM Punk deciding to, get into Jack Perry's face and did what he did. That's what ultimately led to this decision here. Now, Jack Perry is in the wrong. And we'll get into what Jack Perry is going to be facing or whatever. We don't know what Jack Perry is going to be facing yet. But, dude, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, whether it was calculated or whether it wasn't, him wanting to get fired or, just, getting everything going to get fired to begin with, the bridges are already burnt, and now he has to suffer the consequences, and those consequences are being fired. But what do you think about the whole Jack Perry side of the situation? Because, I mean, we didn't really talk about this during OTB. We haven't even really talked about this up until this point. So, did you think watching that Perry was just completely in the wrong for going out of his way to make that happen, to make that statement on All In when it didn't need to be? Or were you just okay with it because you knew what was going on?
I ain't going cap. I had an answer already set up for that, but I'm gonna give you my honest answer. 'Cause I don't know. I don't know why I'm not giving my PC answer. I'm giving what I actually think. I don't care. Okay, I don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
promise I can't fathom enough care in the world to be on the yes. Morally, I should be like, yes, Jack Perry started it. Boo, Jack Perry. I don't care. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. You know why? Because I think Jack took the bullet. I think Jack knew that CM Punk is emotional. that if you walk up and say CM Punk, you're stupid, he's gonna start swinging at you. So I think Jack took the bullet and was like, "Hey, either I'm gonna get him, they're gonna kick him out, or I'm gonna get him out." And Jack got him out. Am I saying that Jack Perry was in the
Now,
right? No, I'm not.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think he took a bullet. I think he took a bullet, and Punk Jack's probably gonna get a. He's suspended now, I guess. He's probably gonna get a fine. That's cool. He probably ate that and was like, "Look, I'll eat that if that means he gets to go." Eat man, what? That, I'm on his side. As long as he was, I'm still on Jack's side. So
Now let's talk
that's
about
just me.
Jack Perry because, even though he was the first one to initiate the whole situation, um, I want to get your thoughts on what AEW should be doing when it comes to his kind of punishment here. Because to me, a suspension and a fine is okay for your first infraction. Because that's exactly honestly what CM Punk got for his first infraction. If you're gonna do something, keep the same energy and keep the consistency throughout the whole board. Now, if Perry does this again, we might have to talk and we might legitimately have to figure things out because you can't be doing this repeatedly. What do you
He
think
won't.
should happen here? And be completely honest with me here when it comes to this, because I thought Perry was going to get the brunt of this and Punk was going to get away scot free, but obviously we were wrong, or I was wrong. I thought he was going to get out scot free because of the relationship he had with Punk, or Punk had a relationship with TK, and Perry was going to get the brunt of it. But now it's going to happen. I say
Look,
suspension and a fine is perfectly okay.
look.
And then if
I'm gonna
anything
say this again.
happens after that, then we'll talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this again. We all know CM Punk is a bigger star than Jack Perry. That doesn't need to be said, but I'm gonna say it anyway. We all understand that fact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Jack is going to get suspended. He's already suspended. He's going to get fined, and we're not going to hear much from Jack Perry anymore because, to my knowledge, and Phil, correct me if I'm wrong,
No.
because obviously you've been watching AEW more longer than I have. When was before Punk got there? When was the last time we heard a report of something bad going on in the locker room before Brawl Out?
In general, or just with Jack Perry?
I'm talking about in general before Brawl Out, like
In general,
before
or
Punk
just
even
Jack?
got there.
Okay, in general. Not much. I mean, when there were, some sort of like, disagreements between town or whatever, that was never actually, leaked to the public. There were some things going on, but I mean, it wasn't to the point to where it was like seeing like, to where it was like all leaked out there. So I mean, there were some things going on, but it wasn't to the extent of this. And before this whole situation with All In, we haven't heard a single peep about Jack Perry being, you know, a terrible human being backstage, Jack Perry, going into business for himself. We never heard of anything like that. Jack Perry was never like that up until this point. So,
That's the only thing. The only thing I thought
who
of was
knows?
the Thunder Rosa stuff, and that was really bad because of
That's
whatever. I
fair.
still don't know what that was about. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but I think I'm gonna try this my best to separate that because
Hold on a
obviously
second.
it's the women and the men. So I'm not gonna blame the men for a women's issue. And plus, we don't even know really what happened with that. And we all know
Oh,
what we think happened. You know what I'm saying? I have my own thoughts about that, but we'll talk about that for another. That's talk for another day. But yeah, it's just you have someone there who you have too much going on in that locker room in the first place. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying the locker room is going to be peaches and ice cream now that Punk is gone. You know what I'm saying?
no.
Punk still had friends there, So I'm not gonna say everyone's just gonna be kumbaya now that Punk is gone. But when you have fire, you don't need to have kerosene as well. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to have someone um who's going to start the fire more. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If it's really fire, you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Can they fire the Bucks at the EVPs? I agree with you on that sense. I don't think the Bucks should be EVPs because I'm never on the side of wrestlers being EVPs. That's stupid to me as well. Um, I do think the Bucks and Kenny had a big part in uh in Punk's firing. I don't know how much because I didn't like the way Tony said this was like my decision and my decision only. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was not your decision. It probably was his like the final say.
Right
I
on
see
that.
is the but you got it. No one's going to sit here and tell me that the Bucks and Kenny did not put their 2 cents in because they're literally right below Tony. So
Oh yeah.
you can have
Look,
I don't the
the
leader
Bucks
in
and
the
Kenny
women.
might have actually had something to
Yeah,
do with this too. Who knows? Maybe they're the committee that they talked about in this report. I don't
they are
know.
the committee.
But
The elite are the
look,
committee. They got to be the
the
committee.
the Bucks, Kenny, all those guys aren't going to get fired. They're not. If they get fired, they legitimately just signed new contracts, so they're not getting fired.
Yeah,
So
they're the
if you
elite
guys
in
want
all
them
elite
gone
wrestling.
too,
So
that's not
they're not
happening.
going to take
If
the heat out.
they lost the elite, it would be catastrophic to the company. So that's not happening. But um, eh, I just don't understand how all of this just kind of blew up because at first glance, all of this and all of this, first of all of this could have been avoided. All of this could have been avoided if Punk would have just shut his mouth and keep everything to to his business. But he could have came away with the situation squeaky clean if he just threw his hands up and just let Tony Khan deal with whatever he had to deal with when it comes to Jack Perry because you know um he was right there. He was right there at the monitors, running the show. It was during the buy-in that this happened. The free YouTube part of All In. This is
Mhm.
during the buy-in. So, if CM Punk just put his hands up and, walked away from the situation, who looks like the asshole in that situation?
Yeah,
Jack! Because Jack did what he did. Now, Punk, he didn't do that. He got into the altercation. He got physical. He did what he did. And, you know, because he did that, now, like I said, he has to suffer the consequences. Now, I ask you off this because, all of this is happening here. The glass situation, because that's what ultimately started this whole thing. Jack Perry wanted to use real glass in a segment on AEW Collision to, write himself off because he got approved vacation time by Tony Khan and the rest of management to take a couple of weeks vacation, and he wanted to use that real glass spot as a way to write him off for a little bit until he got back to do the match with to Hook at All In. That's what was originally supposed to happen, but obviously Punk did what he did. Now, with all of this being said, is this really over some real glass spot? And did Punk really need to get that involved in a situation that seriously did not need him involved in the first place? Because that's where it all stemmed from, bro.
that's what I'm
Like,
saying. I'm like,
it's ridiculous. He didn't need to get
I don't see
involved.
this. This is the issue when you put the other wrestlers in. Let's be real though. Punk said we don't have fake glass, so please don't use real gas or you get
Well, how
hurt.
do you know he said that?
But hold on. But before that, even before that, this is how I looked at it. I understand Punk is the head of creative in on Collision, I guess. I'm not if I was in that position, if I was in the position of Jungle Boy and I'm about to do a match with say me and Phil about to go do a match and Nate is in CM Punk's position. Nate comes up to me is like, yo,
And asked
Love,
me to set that up as soon as I got
don't
there.
don't use glass. You know what I'm saying? Don't use glass. You might get hurt. If I still
We're
want to
setting
use
up a new
glass,
iPhone, so that's my bad.
oh, if I still want to use glass, and Phil still he wants to use glass, then we're using real glass. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I'm not
look.
gonna let anyone come in here and say, I think, okay, you can think that. But if I
Yeah,
talk to the person that I'm in the match with and I'm cool and he's cool, we're doing the match. And the thing
I
is, what are you gonna do if we don't? If we don't listen to you, what are you gonna do? Fire me? You can't. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna
I
tell me,
wrote this earlier.
you know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do?
Right. I'm trying to find the note to where, I was basically saying that exact same situation. Um Basically, all CM Punk had to do, if you wanted to meet with Jack Perry to talk about the real glass spot or real glass situation, that's cool, talking out with him, go over everything, do what you got to do. But all he really had to do was say that, you know, I'm just here as a veteran in the locker room talking to a young guy like you about a situation that doesn't really technically need, you know, real glass to sell it off. But hey, if you want to use real glass, that's on you, man. That's on you. Go use
Yeah,
it.
we're grown men here. Like, what are we doing?
And I'm just here to give you any kind of event, any kind of advice. Any kind of advice that I want to project onto you, you can do whatever you want with it. You can tell me to fuck off if you want to. But I gave you my thoughts. You go whatever you think you have to do. And that's
And there's
all.
another thing. Who asked? Like, who went up to Punk? If
Right.
Jungle Boy went up to him and asked him his opinion, then maybe. But if CM Punk just came up to him and said, "Hey, I don't think," okay, what, bro? I'm gonna do what I want to do. Like, what do you want? You're not my dad. You're not gonna come in here and tell me, "Well, I think." Okay, you can think whatever you want to think. I'm still doing what I want to do because this is my match with someone else. If CM Punk was in a match, then I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like a 50-50 thing. Now it's like,
Yeah.
then it comes down to someone else making the decision. But if I'm having a match against Phil, Nate can't tell me what to do. I'm not going to listen to Nate. I'm going to listen to me and Phil because me and Phil are out there doing it. So what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's
If we got
that's what people fail to realize
stuff
about this.
approved by management and by the producers,
Yeah.
if we got stuff like approved by management and producers to do whatever we need to do, and then somebody else, comes up to us and talks about it, we're fine talking about it, and we're fine, like cordially, getting things in order to make sure that things are going to go all right. But if they're going to try to persuade us to not do something, since we already got it approved, we don't need your thoughts on it. We'll
At
hear
all.
them, we'll listen to them, and we'll see where things go accordingly. But we already got it approved, so we're cool. Now, I want to talk about this real quick. AEW Collision. That was his show.
Mm-hmm.
That was his show. Now, I ask you this, Loft, because I firmly believe AEW Collision was all because of CM Punk. I don't think that if CM
Yeah.
Punk was here within AEW, we would not be getting a secondary show like this. Or not even really a secondary show. We wouldn't be getting a second show like their SmackDown, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk was the sole reason that Collision exists, that we got this new TV deal with AEW and Warner Bros. Tony Khan needed an impact kind of a deal, right? He needed like some sort of impact to make sure that these promoters, these businessmen, saw what AEW had, give us the time. And CM Punk was that. Now, I ask you this: does Collision and Tony Khan make a new star to fill the void of CM Punk, or do they just let business be as usual and just let Collision be? Well, honestly, it was, because I personally believe that besides NXT, in terms of the in-ring aspect of everything, Collision was like the best pure wrestling show of that week, of your professional wrestling week. I said besides NXT, because NXT has been fantastic for what it has been. The character development,
Yeah.
all the stories, all that kind of a thing. Besides NXT, Collision was fantastic. Especially
Yeah.
so. Do you make it about a new superstar, or do you just let it rock and just let the pro wrestling speak for themselves and let the storylines and everybody that is involved on that roster, so to speak, with the soft brand split, speak for itself?
You do a little bit of both.
Okay.
You let it go, and then you have Ricky freaking Starks, who screams superstar every time he comes out, and there's like,
Jay
nah,
White. Jay
get Jay
White.
White over there.
Like,
Now, what you can do, the possibilities are endless now, because
yeah.
now you can bring the Dynamite superstars over to Collision.
Yeah.
Now you can do what you were supposed to do. Now you can do it if you want to. Now you can do a brand split. Now
if you want to, you can
have people go
legitimately
back.
do that brand split like we've been talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
CM
there's
Punk was the reason why they couldn't do it. So now, as much things as AEW loses from Punk,
that's
they
the reason
gain
why
so much
that's the
more.
reason why the Elite couldn't go to Collision. That's the reason why Punk could
Yeah.
not go to Dynamite. That the whole reason was because they were on separate shows, and that's what they were there for. And Punk had a hand in the people that he wanted to work with to bring to Collision.
Yeah.
Now you can do everything. Now it's an open
AEW
book.
does not revolve around CM Punk in Chicago.
Yes. Now, like the thing is, like, the pro wrestling world is gonna be fine without CM Punk. AEW is gonna be fine without CM Punk. The whole pro wrestling
Absolutely.
world does not revolve around CM Punk. Now, they gotta stop going to Chicago all the time.
They ain't gonna go there no more.
Because there's burnout. There's obviously burnout. Dude, do you know the attendance record or the attendance for tonight's All Out?
I have no idea.
Dude, they set up for 11,000, right? We're not even at 10,000 yet. We're at 9,510. There were only 4,000 some odd people in the arena last night for Collision.
They're gonna feel this one.
There were only 4,000 people on Dynamite. There's a lot of burnout, bro. There's a lot of burnout when it comes to Chicago shows. You can't be going here all the time.
You can't just run home games all the time. You have to go away at some point. There's
Right.
so many. That's why I was so mad that AEW just never comes to Philly. They're coming in October. They never come here because they're always in Chicago and like Florida. So I'm like, go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Now, consequences for your actions. You know what I'm saying? You have to.
Right.
AEW has to go through the lumps of all this stuff. As great as signing CM Punk was, now you have to. Now reality's about to hit you. Now it's like, oh, that blanket that you thought CM Punk was, that blanket has been choking you for however long Punk has been there. So that blanket that you thought was covering you, no, it's not. It's smothering you. And now the blanket's been taken off, and you're like, oh, everything's falling apart. Yeah, we were trying to tell you that, but you were too busy looking at CM Punk merch. We were trying to explain to you that as good as this might be, it could get really bad soon. And that's cool.
Right.
They have the best part. The thing I hate the most about AEW is how much superstars they have over there, and they can't put everyone at top. But the best thing about AEW is they have so many superstars that they can put up at the top. So it's like you have assets. They're not in the worst position in the world. It's not like they just have a whole bunch of people that no one knows there that CM Punk left. You have multiple time world champions. You have people, you have Swerve and Ricky Starks and Malachi Black in every stable you have, and all the women you have a whole bunch of stuff. You have more assets than a wrestling promoter could need or ever want. You have enough. Now you have to use it. And Collisions, I don't think AEW is just going to collapse now because Punk is gone. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But
no, it can't.
Mox already called this.
I seriously don't think it can.
It's too late now. You know what I'm saying? Mox called it. Mox called this a while ago that Punk wasn't going to be there, and no one listened. Well, I listened because I was hoping that he was correct. Mox called this months ago, and he wasn't wrong.
1 year ago, almost to the day, and I posted this on social media. I posted this on my TikToks. John Moxley made this promo about CM Punk, how he is sorry that all this couldn't work out, all this kind of a deal. We gave him a second chance in the world of pro wrestling, and he squandered it. Look at it on my TikTok. It's right there. It is the latest thing that you saw. But
Yeah.
not a true word were spoken in that promo by Mox. Now, I want to get into everything when it comes to watching AEW. It's not going to affect me in any single shape or form that Punk is no longer here. I'm gonna still be watching this company. I've been watching this company since day one, the parking lot days. That first press conference in the Jacksonville Jaguars parking lot. It's not gonna affect me either way. I'm gonna be watching the show. I'm gonna be watching both shows. I'm gonna be watching all the shows that AEW has, except Rampage. Rampage sucks. But Collision, Dynamite, I'm gonna be watching that shit. Now, Laf, I think it's fair to say that look, CM Punk was a huge free agent in the market, right?
You said what?
It would have been a crime for Tony Khan not to try
Oh yeah,
to get CM Punk and make it all work out.
yeah,
I mean, when he was the biggest free agent out there, people would have been like, Tony Khan, what are you doing? You just let this guy
yeah.
go?
I
No,
don't blame him for
of
that.
course
I
he
don't
had
blame
to
him.
try this. You don't blame him for that, but if you are watching AEW, if you were watching AEW just because CM Punk was simply there, and now you're gonna, just wean out a little bit because CM Punk is no longer there anymore. I kind of understand where you're coming from with that, and I don't have a problem with that. Because I mean, if
I
CM
do.
Punk was your guy and now he's gone,
I have a
and you
problem with it.
just don't see any value in AEW anymore, cool. See, but you weren't watching on a weekly basis up until
I
the
was
point where
not.
things were happening, you know? So, but I'm here to say this too. If you're like me, if you're like me and been watching this company since day one, since that parking lot, you know, press conference that they had, for the first All In and all that kind of a deal. And now you're leaving just because CM Punk is no longer with the company. Well, were you even really a fan at that point?
I don't know. I'm not here.
Like,
I'm not here
if
to.
like,
All right. I'm not here to determine whether I can't say whether you're a fan or not. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I can't tell people whether they're a fan or not because me personally, I only get hyped to watch certain AEW shows if I know Jeff is going to be there. Now that hasn't stopped me from watching AEW shows. 'Cause I still tend to watch them whenever I feel I want to, but I'm watching All Out tonight. I know Jeff ain't gonna be on the card, but I'm still watching because the card looks cool. I enjoy wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. It's gonna be easier for me to watch AEW because I know I don't have to see this terrible man pop up anymore. So that's just
right,
in my head. I don't think people are gonna think the way I am, and I'm not here to make people. I really don't care. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But you, I can't determine. Maybe other people can't. I can't determine whether you were a fan of AEW or not just because of this. I understand if you're mad. I understand if you're hurt by this. I'll be hurt too. If my favorite wrestler was a bad guy, I would be mad too. I would be enraged. You know what I'm saying? But listen, it's okay to feel
yeah.
stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that should stop you from turning the TV on. You know,
No,
I, I I
like,
don't I
like,
don't
like,
think that should. If you want to watch
like,
it, still watch it. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to change anything at all.
like we said, the
And guess what?
wrestling world does not revolve around CM Punk. So, I mean, if you guys are gonna watch this, watch it and have fun watching it, man. Because there's a lot of stuff in AEW that still is going on right now. That is fantastic stuff. With the Bloodline story, taking its hiatus right now, a lot of people are really invested in this whole Adam Cole MJF situation. And I know we're not going to get into that whole thing again, but I'm just saying, the MJF and Adam Cole situation is great television. And that's what a lot of people are watching AEW for right now. Not just because of CM Punk. The whole Orange Cassidy situation with the International Championship. A lot of people are invested in that. Maybe for the wrong reasons, because people just want him to lose the title already, and hopefully he loses the title tonight. But people are invested in that. There's a lot of things that still get invested in when it comes to AEW. It's just up to you guys if you really want to do that or not, now that Punk is gone. You guys know me. I was a fan of CM Punk. Maybe I still am, but Loth, I told you this on numerous occasions, in our text back and forth, or just, as these situations were coming out. I was never naive about the situation. I knew the writing on the wall. I knew what was happening. We knew the common denominator in all of this. It's not the elite's. It's not. It's the elite's fault, not Punk. It's Jack Perry's fault, not Punk's. It's Tony Khan's fault, not Punk. There was a common denominator in all of this. I was never naive to the situation about Punk being the common denominator. It just sucks knowing that, when somebody is when you're a fan of somebody and you just see that writing on the wall, you kind of almost don't want to believe it, but it's right there in front of your face. You're going to have to see it eventually. That's just what it was to many Punk fans out there. But there are some fans out there that just don't see that Punk was the problem at all. And they were just blindly following this guy. And those are the kind of people that I kind of shake it up with,
That's
you can follow a
I
wrestler all
can't.
you want, but blindly following somebody, that's weird.
I
And
I
that
don't
they
relate
did
to
stuff
that.
wrong.
That's what I'm saying. I don't relate to that. You know what I'm saying? If someone who
You're a fan
does
of Jeff,
something,
but the things
yeah,
Jeff done in the wrong.
yeah, and I've gone on public record and I've said that I'm not just jumping up and down. A lot of stuff that he's done in his past, I do not agree with, and I wish he hadn't done it for his sake and for everyone else's
Right.
sake who he put in danger. That's called accountability. You know what I'm saying? That's called holding the people that you love accountable for things. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is. If I look at it, I try to not to look at it more as a fan, but just as a person. Um, if your brother does something wrong, if you have a brother or sister that does something wrong, and he or she goes to jail, you still love your brother. They're still your brother, but you're like, yeah, bro, you gotta you definitely slapped that baby yesterday, so you gotta go to jail for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna say, oh no, it's my brother, so he didn't slap. No, we know you slapped the baby. It's okay. You gotta go to jail for a little bit now. That's just called consequences and holding the people you love accountable. I think you should hold the people you love the
Right.
most accountable because you love them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's the point.
Exactly.
But I can't get into the brain of other people because I hate that. I hate trying to figure out why people do. I'm trying to figure out a way to say this. A lot of times with this stuff, I do like asking people questions. I do like to hear what other people think. But at the same time, if I've heard you talk a whole bunch of times and I've realized that, oh, I don't like the way this person thinks anymore, I'm not going to ask you that many questions. And if you've already shown your card and you've shown that you like to blindly walk into these things, then that's cool. I'm just going to move over here now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to further this conversation with you because we're not going to get anywhere. You're blindly walking into a wall, and I'm trying to help you from walking into said wall, but you don't care because you love the wall. That's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's great. But the one thing that won't change is what is happening. You can love CM Punk all you want. You can think he never did anything
Right.
wrong, but we all know he did something wrong, and deep down, they know too. You know what I'm saying? They'll never admit it on a public forum. They'll never say it to you if you directly ask them, and I don't expect them to because that's just how they are. You know what I'm saying? I don't fault people for how they are. That's just what they are. But we all know he did something wrong, and he had to face the consequence. Whether you agree with the consequence, it doesn't matter. You don't matter in that sense. If you turn off AEW, never watch it again. Tony Khan's not going to call you crying and say, "Turn the show on." He's not. He doesn't care. It's too late
Yeah.
now. You are a decimal point. Me and Phil, we're a decimal point in their viewership. less than a decimal point.
Yeah.
My TV and
Yeah.
all the TVs in my house. AEW is not going to just collapse because CM Punk left. Okay, CM Punk needs to go home. Like y'all saying, he has a beautiful wife at home. He got a dog. He needs to go home, start a podcast.
Larry is a good boy.
You
Larry
know what
is
I'm
a
saying?
good boy. Go take care of Larry.
Go just go do something. AJ about to. I hope she takes like head of creative for someone's wrestling show because I think she's leaving WoW now.
Apparently, she's actually is no longer a part of Women's of Wrestling.
Yeah, I saw
So
that. I
she's
saw she
no
left like a
longer a
few weeks
part of
ago.
that, which
Yeah,
is
you know what I'm saying.
wild.
Just do something that is going to
But,
you can still talk about wrestling. I'm not saying he has to go and disappear and never to be seen again. You know what I'm saying? But you've done. CM Punk has had a
be like
career
the
that most
little
people dream
hobbit
of.
says in the
Yeah,
basement. Yeah, no.
he doesn't have to go under
Yeah.
a bridge or something. He's had a career that most people dream of. He
Yeah.
got to be the world champion for a number one company for years. He had multiple reigns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fought multiple people. Unfortunately,
He
never
was
main evented WrestleMania, which I think honestly, I think
nobody
he should have
can
made it
deny
to
what Punk
WrestleMania.
has done in the world of pro wrestling.
Yes.
Nobody can deny what he has done in the
Unfortunately.
world of pro. Even the stuff that he did in AEW before all this happened. I mean, he was a world
Yeah.
champion. He had one of the best storylines with MJF. I mean, like, dude, he's done a great amount of good things in AEW for his career and actually for the success of AEW because a lot of stuff actually
Yeah.
happened because of Punk. But
He did a lot of good.
then shit
He
happened,
did a lot of good.
and now we're here.
Yeah. In his good
Um,
though, that's what I was trying to tell people that yesterday. You have ruined something. He did it. We didn't do this. You know what I'm saying? He can be as great as he wants to be.
no,
But when he was in WWE and he was trying to get to the top, and when he finally got to the top, he was like, "Oh, I don't want to be in the top. I never want to be in the bottom again." That's cool. But when you come to another company and you try to run it like it's your company, eventually that's going to bite you in the ass. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
That's what happens.
You can give all the
He's
advice you
been
want as a
escaping
veteran in the
consequences for
locker room, but
years.
that's
Yeah.
all you should give. That's all you should give. Not legit say, "Hey, do this."
That's what I'm saying. And I'm not going and
That's
I
what it
think
was,
I
bro.
think that kind of leads people into trying to get I think I've been hearing people me trying to get me into like a box where now I have to start saying good things about CM Punk. I'm not gonna act like he did this. He was just the worst person ever, but he's a dickhead. You know what I'm saying? He could be as good as he wants to be. There's a whole bunch of people who are good at stuff and they're dickheads. You know what I'm saying? I I this is why I
Right.
can't go on public record and say I like a certain rapper. I'm not going to say his name because but he the certain rapper he says a lot of stupid shit, but he's one of the best musicians of all time.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's just what it is. Y'all know I'm talking about
Right.
Kanye. Y'all know who it is. I'm talking about fucking Kanye. I love
Yeah.
Kanye,
Yeah. Me too.
but he says stupid things and he does stupid, terrible things a lot. You know what I'm saying? But that's not that doesn't take away from the good. But the bad
Right.
people refuse to take the good and the bad. They only want to take the good and want to take the bad. Don't like escape from the bad. No, that's how people are. You know what
When
I'm
the
saying?
good is
That's just how
good,
people
it's
are.
good. But when the bad is bad, it's
You have to
bad,
be
and
accountable.
you got to acknowledge that. You got
Yes,
to acknowledge the bad
that's
as
what you
much as
have to
it
do.
hurts you.
And that's cool. If you don't want to look at it that way, then I can't force you to do anything. I don't have enough care in my body to make someone do anything. I don't care. I promise I don't care that much.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to do is make is what I gotta do. But you will forever be in the people you can't really have a conversation with because I don't conversate with people who can't look at both sides of the coin. And with this CM Punk stuff, you have to look at both sides of the coin. If you look at both sides of the coin and you still want to say, okay, I ride or die with him, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But don't act like the bad isn't there. Because now you just look stupid on live television. Now everyone's looking at you, look stupid. Hey, look at the stupid guy. That's what you look like. And you can't go into other places and say the stupid stuff, because then you're gonna look
Yeah.
stupid more. That's the point. But no, but some people will understand that
Like, isn't there a
it's
saying
already
like it's better to just keep your mouth shut than to open it and act stupid or something like that? I know there's a saying like that. It's like better to
I
keep
can't
your
remember
mouth
the
shut and
exact
make
saying. I'm
people
not gonna
think
butcher it.
that
But
you're
I know what you're trying to
intelligent
say.
than to open your mouth and prove that they're stupid. Yeah, it's like close your
It's
mouth
something
and
like that.
make people think that
I
you're
know what you're trying to say.
intelligent than to open your mouth and make sure that people think that you're stupid or something like that. It's something like that, and I know I'm getting on the
Yeah,
right track, but it's like it's yeah.
it's
But
something.
that's us as human beings here,
Yeah,
talking about the whole situation. But now to me as a fan, bro, I'm hurt. I'm hurt about this whole thing because
I'm not.
him being fired, there was a lot of stuff left to be on the table, bro. Because he made this real world championship, which we know was fucking bullshit in the first place. But I mean, come on, dude. We all knew that that was all just going to, allow for a unification match between him and MJF, which obviously MJF would have to fucking win that thing. But now we can't get that anymore. We can't get Punk versus Bryan Danielson. Now, sucks. I wanted that for so long that CM
Sucks
Punk
to
was in the
suck.
company, but now it can't happen anymore. Because you know what? Now Punk had to do what he had to do, and now we can't have things anymore. Punk and Adam Cole. I think that would have been fantastic. I think that would have been great. Especially with Adam Cole now. Great. Punk and Jay White, he wanted to work with him. Punk wanted to work with Jay White. You know what now, Punk? You can't do that now. You can't do that. So now you're fired. Um, Punk and Kenny, that was never actually going to happen, but I would have loved to see it. And CMFTR versus the Elite, again, never going to happen because of things that happened prior to Brawl Out. But it would have been great. Now, while we can be genuinely shocked that all of this happened because, we didn't actually think that Tony Khan was going to be a boss and actually put his foot down with all of this situation happening, did fans have wanted these matches? Sorry, it's not going to happen anymore.
Nobody fight
And
forever.
but here's the thing, like we kept saying though, Punk, sure, he was a big asset to AEW. He made a lot of things happen for this company, but he wasn't the only thing that made things happen for this company. There's a lot of people in this business. There's a lot of people in that company specifically that could be what CM Punk was, or for that time being. Business does not revolve around CM Punk. AEW does not revolve around CM Punk. AEW will be fine. It is what it is. But I do feel bad for Tony Khan in that point because this whole real world championship versus the AEW world champion. That whole unification match is going to be a big thing heading into 2024, or that unification thing. And now, because of CM Punk and his BS, TK is now either going to have to, just rewrite things or scrap it. I personally would just scrap the whole real world championship because MJF doesn't deserve that.
Please.
But that's
It
just
was
me.
stupid anyway.
MJF doesn't deserve that. It would have been cool to have that unification match of a real world championship and AEW world champion. It would have been cool to see that match again. But we don't need that. That wasn't even really, something, to be, for. So, if you guys disagree with everything that we are saying here when it comes to, or, I know most people in the chat agree with us that it was time, it was needed to do. Punk getting fired was the right call. But the people that catch this after and see our thoughts and our opinions and actually completely disagree with them, that's fine. I really don't give a shit because what Lop and I say here are our thoughts, our opinions, the way that we kind of went things about it, and our thoughts from the get-go. Okay, I was happy that CM Punk showed up in AEW. He wasn't. He kind of saw the writing on the wall before any of this kind of happened. But, and then when the whole brawl out situation happened, he's like, dude, come on. It's right there.
I've
I
been
said
telling
get.
people that he was a bad man this whole time, and no one listens to me.
I said give it. And you know what I said? Get. I didn't say it in these exact words, but I was like, give him the benefit of the doubt. Things happen, all that kind of a deal. They, dealt with the situation. Stripping of the titles, suspensions, all that kind of a deal. That was strike one. Slap on the wrist, suspension, fine, good to go. Stripping of the title, good to go. Let's see if he does this again. And if he does this again, then we'll have a legit talk. And now we have a legit talk because he did it again.
Yeah.
So, look, I mean, as a fan, I am hurt because of all the possibilities that could have actually happened for like the fall and winter months heading into 2024. But you know what, TK, you did what you thought was right for your company, for your employees, and for your staff. You gotta commend that, bro. At the end of the day, I mean, we all know we rat on Tony Khan for his extracurricular activities, maybe outside the whole wrestling world, but.
Hmm.
Come on, bro. I mean, you got to give it to him at the end of the day. He did what he needed to do, and he put his foot down.
Yeah, bro. I mean, listen, shit gonna go on. Like shit moves on. You know what I'm saying? You can be sad out about it, but it's like I've already established like there's already people that are in like our community that have completely like they don't like me because of my stance on CM Punk, and it's like that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I hate a lot of niggas because they make fun of Jeff Hardy, and they say a whole bunch of stuff about like alcohol and drugs and all that stuff. I hate a lot of people because of that stuff. So I understand it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I understand it, but it's like now you understand how certain people feel. You know what I'm saying? Now you understand how like how bad it hurts for your favorite superstar to be in a position where he has to get some consequences.
Yeah.
Now that's what happens. And me just being the person I am, I like I said, I know how to take the good with the bad because people are people. These wrestlers that we love so much, they are human still. As many death defying stunts and all this stuff, they're still people. And people are pretty fucked up. Everyone's a little fucked up, you know what I'm saying? But you learn to take the good with the bad, whether they be your friends, your family, significant others, whatever. You learn to take the good with the bad because you love them. But in certain cases, people let the love blind their judgment. And to them, I say, that's tough. I can't relate. You know what I'm saying? But listen, the way I see it, I no longer have to speak about CM Punk anymore. He's no longer in my life. Um, I am joyful. I can now watch AEW. I can now watch Collision now more because I don't have to hear that nut ass song anymore. Um, of course, we're gonna have to
Well,
go back to the
I
damn.
think Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting is still going to be the song. Or are you just talking about Cult of Personality?
No, I'm talking about CM Punk song.
Oh, Cult of Personality. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm
I
talking
was
about that
like,
song. You know what I'm
Saturday
saying?
Night's All Right for Fighting. That's still going to be the song.
I do like that song. That's a very
They
good
might have
song.
Elton John. That actually works a lot with Collision, but yeah. Uh,
Well,
no. But
let's
at the
be
end of
honest
the
with
day,
ourselves.
guys, at the end of the day, Punk got fired because of Punk. He got fired because of Punk. He got an anger management problem. That's that's basically what it all boiled down to.
He's an old fuck.
And
That's why.
like look, I'm not just completely saying Jack Perry was in the right. I told you guys that Jack Perry was in the wrong from that get-go. From that first report that came out. He did what he did, and that was not cool. Punk was in the wrong. Jack Perry was in the wrong. Tony Khan was in the wrong for a little bit there because he didn't do what he needed to do in the first stint of a Punk problem in AEW. Now, everybody has their own role in this, and everybody had their problems. Everybody was in the wrong. But you know, Punk got fired because of the anger management issues that he's had. And, he took it to a point of no return. And now look at where he is. What are you guys talking about here? Oh God, Punk versus Tyre. First of all, that would be freaking terrible, Aiden.
Yeah, send his ass to NWA. Fuck him.
But yeah, I mean, he basically got to a point of no return, and it is what it is. That's the whole truth of the situation. Now, Love, you hear these people on, you see these people on social media saying that this was like an all-out assault on Punk because the Elite and Jack Perry somehow conspired together, to do all this kind of a deal. Dude, come on. Like you really think the Elite and Hangman, Kenny, the Bucks, and Jack Perry, because they were all just that they're all really good friends with each other, just said, screw it, we got to get this guy out of here. What the fuck did we got to do? We got to.
I was at the meeting. I was there.
We'll team up. Jack, you do some sort of like situation. You get him riled up. We're gonna get this man fired.
Yes.
You legitimately think that happens?
I was there. I started it. I built this city.
Oh, you called for the meeting.
I did it. It was my call. I made the call. I did it. It was me.
Dude, if you were this close to Jack Perry and the Elite, why didn't you get him here on UTB with us?
That we got to work on one thing at a time, Phil. We had to get that bitch out of here.
It's fair.
Now he's done. Now we can work on other things. You know what I'm saying? I've been the Elite this whole time. This whole time I've been the Elite. No one even knew. See, it's crazy.
You know what, bro? It's so wild. I'm a part of the Bullet Club because of Chris Bay. There you go. Boom. And you're a part of the Elite. I don't know how you got initiated there, but hey,
all I had to say was fuck CM Punk, and they let me in. That's all I had to say.
Oh shit. Okay, there you go. That's the initiation.
We all were there. The entire WCW roster was there.
That's the initiation.
The entire WCW roster was there. We did this.
It's great.
We did this.
Victory. So the Elite and Jack Perry sent out by Tony Khan to get Punk in the state that he was, and Punk got himself there at the end of the day because
hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck
what?
up. Do not say Jericho not doing or saying anything. Jericho said he was never going to let CM Punk back in AEW again.
No.
So we're not.
Yeah, no. Jericho was very adamant to say that Punk was not really a good fit for AEW in the first place.
We're not going to do that.
Jericho was never for CM Punk to be in AEW. Never for it.
We can have fun all the time, but we're not going to just lie. Jericho was the first person that I agreed with, and I hate Jericho, but I was like, oh, good. He said that loud. They had a whole meeting the first time when Brawl Out first happened. He was like, I'll never let CM Punk back in the company. Obviously, that didn't work out too well, but the fuck, okay? Just stop that, okay?
Yeah.
Just stop that shit, please. That shit's crazy.
Now, well, as of this recording, we are about 3 hours away from AEW All Out. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
AEW All Out in Chicago. I just want to ask you what you think this crowd is going to be like, bro. Do you think they're actually going to like almost hijack this shit because of things that happen? Because they almost hijacked Collision, bro. They almost went that far there.
Hijacking, they ain't gonna do shit. Fuck, no, I'm playing. I mean, listen, if they want to, if they want to,
it can get hostile in there, bro. It can get hostile.
Listen, if they want to do it, that's gonna make me laugh more. I want.
We're gonna get the CM Punk chance all over again.
I love it. I want to see it. I want to see. Oh man, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see them in there. Right? Where? That's what I want to see. Yeah. Your boy, pick your mans up. Yeah, that's what I want to see. If y'all want to hijack matches, cool. I don't give a fuck. I'm watching at home, laughing. I'm cool. This shit does not matter to me. Right. My day is fine. There's nothing that can happen now to fuck up this shit. You know what I'm saying? Unless CM Punk just comes back tonight. Then I'm like, okay, well, we just do all this podcast and shit for nothing. But I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Don't care. Tough. And I saw them. They were taking CM Punk signs.
So
That's
I
even more
mean,
tough. They took your sign. You made a sign that said CM Punk on it. Give me the damn sign. Shut the fuck up. See, man.
but then all of a sudden, our good friend Erica came out and said that that's technically not true because she had a CM Punk sign at Collision
Oh, good.
yesterday, and they didn't take anything up, take it away. So
Well, good for her. Shit, she got to go
yeah,
home with her sign. I'm
like
happy. Shit.
apparently they took some signs away, but from what Erica said, she didn't get her sign taken away, and she had a sign that said, "I came here for CM Punk,"
I'm
and
sorry.
they didn't take it
I didn't
away.
mean that.
So,
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that's not funny.
bro,
But
come
I
on
mean,
now,
listen.
come on. Look,
What? I don't.
we know how big of a Punk fan she is.
That's
It
cool.
wasn't that out of pocket. Okay, don't
That's cool.
don't.
I'm happy she still has her sign. I'm not gonna not laugh. This shit's funny. But I'm happy. I'm dead ass happy she has her sign though, because they took my sign at Extreme Rules. I'll be pissed off if they took my sign. So I'm happy she still has a sign.
They
I'm
actually took
sorry
your
for her
sign.
pain, huh? You
I
said
didn't
what,
think they took your sign. They took your sign.
bro? When we
They
went
took
down
your
to the
sign at Extreme
floor,
Rules.
because when we were sitting, we were in front of the hard cameras, so I couldn't put up my sign because it would have blocked y'all from seeing the screen. So they took it.
Oh, so they took it. Oh.
Yeah, so
I didn't actually know that. I didn't actually know that.
yeah,
Um, but
I'm happy
all
she
in
still got
all,
her sign though.
I think I think what Tony Khan- I think what Tony Khan did was perfectly fine. You know, he needed to do what he needed to do for the betterment of his company. Now I'm genuinely curious to see what happens after. How is Tony Khan gonna be running his company after all of this? How is he really gonna be operating AEW? Because, you know, now with this situation's happening, you know, it's seeing how, you know, he got rid of the big headache in the name of CM Punk no longer, you know, lingering in his company. What do you expect for Tony Khan to be as a boss, owner, GM type of deal now that his biggest headache is out of the way?
Continue as planned. Go
Just
do what you were doing before. That's it.
yeah, but yes, you can still be friendly, you can still be, you know, cordial with your talent, but if things happen, step your fucking foot down and do what needs to be done as a boss.
Yeah.
You don't just need to go business as usual, because business as usual, you said, nah, whatever, we'll just sweep it under the rug, no problem, good to go. No, keep your fucking foot down.
Listen,
Be friendly, be cordial, but when it
as
counts,
much as we
put your foot down.
hate
That's
Vince
what I want.
McMahon, bro, as much as we hate Vince McMahon, there's one thing that everyone worldwide knows. AEW, Impact, New Japan, fucking Stardom, who everyone knows. Vince McMahon is the boss. No one's going to tell him he's not the
Yes,
boss. When he's dead, he'll still be the boss. So what Tony Khan has to do, if he always has WrestleMania, no one's gonna tell me that in his brain he doesn't want to be better than WWE one day. That's great. I love those standards. You should always want to be better than the thing that made you start what you're
you
doing.
should always want
You
to
should
be number
always want to
one.
be number.
You should always
Yes,
want to be number one.
I respect that. I respect that shit. That's gonna keep some hustle in you. You have to take inspiration from someone he probably has a resentment for. He probably has a certain resentment for Vince McMahon for multiple reasons. And Triple H. You have to take a page out of the book now. You have to start acting like a boss, or you're gonna get people to walk all over you. Now, I'm not saying he has to just treat everyone bad, but you have to remember that you are the person signing the checks. You're not their friend.
Yes.
You can be friendly, but you're not their best friend. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
why I hated the whole Tony Khan going to Sammy's wedding and all the Britt Baker shit. I don't like none of that shit. All that shit is weird to me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this CM Punk stuff should be a warning to everyone who has close in ties with the boss. Hey, stop. You know what I'm saying? Because finally, after months of saying, I'm not going to take this fucking shit, he finally did something. Thank you, sir. Now let's keep going with that. Don't turn into a bitch again. You know what I'm saying? Don't go back. Don't go back now. You already did this. This was one of the ballsiest moves we've ever seen anyone do as far as a wrestling promoter firing their one of their hottest stars, if not the hottest star there. Do it and keep doing it. So let everyone know that this is your company and you're not going to let anything destroy AEW. He's worked too hard for AEW. AEW is an anomaly. It shouldn't be here. So you shouldn't let anyone take that away from you. Punk, I don't give a fuck who it is. You should never let anyone try to take AEW from you because it's your baby. So you never let anyone destroy that forever.
If I'm Tony Khan right now, I'm getting everybody that is there for All In or All Out. Fucking see, that's what happens. That's what happens, TK. Don't do this again. I know you're planning to do this again, but don't do this again. Don't do All In and then a week later do All Out. I know you already basically have that planned for next year and all the years after that, which is stupid. But don't do that again. I hate it.
Yeah.
But I would have Tony Khan in the middle of that ring tonight before All Out with everybody surrounding the ring and they have this full-on meeting say, hey, look, this happened. But at the end of the day, I am not going to let this happen ever again. I don't want this ever happen again. I think AEW is an absolutely great place to work. I want you guys to be here. I want everybody to, be safe. I want everybody to, be cordial with everybody and just, let things, do us. Let us do us. But I will say this. I'm not going to have anybody be running this company anymore besides me and the people that I trust to be helping me out in this process, helping me out in this endeavor. Okay? So if anything like this happens again, I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm not going to let anybody be running this company besides me. Not you, MJF. Not you, Adam Cole. Not you, Hangman. Not you, Kenny. Not anybody. Not anybody. This is our company, yes. But I'm here to personally say that if any of this happens again, I'm going to keep that same energy and we're going to be able to do things accordingly. Capiche? Good to go. Because, at the end of the day, this is his company. He's got to figure things out. And I know, it's a young company, but that's no excuse. That's no excuse. You got to let things ride. Continue doing you. That's fine. But put your foot down. Put it where it counts. And step the fuck up when you need to.
Straight like that.
Have that meeting before All Out and really get this straight to your roster, because if you don't, things are going to happen again. Because who knows? It could be anybody from that roster. Didn't have to just be Punk. It was Punk, and it definitely was Punk's problem in situations. But it could. It's not all. It's not only CM Punk that could be like this.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't heard of anything like that because it wasn't really anybody else but Punk. But it is what it is. I'm genuinely curious to see how it all goes down tonight. I will be watching. I'm genuinely curious to see what happens in the future. In the next few weeks, months, hell, maybe a year from now. I'm genuinely curious, man. I'm going to continue watching. I'm going to see what's happening. But, just because I've been watching this since day one and now Punk is gone, that don't mean I'm stopping. I like this company. I want to see what this company can do. I want to see how this company can flourish. It's up to everybody else if they want to do the same thing. Just hope that TK can continue on the path and actually become that boss that we all know that he can be. It's just taking him a little while to get there. And nobody's saying it had to be perfect right off the gate. This is a company that started off because Dave Meltzer said that they couldn't sell out 10,000 seats. And they did. I mean, they did that. And they just sold 80,000 seats this past weekend. This company is flourishing. Let's continue to make it that way. I know it's not, everybody's cup of tea, but you gotta just, now that Punk is gone, who knows what can happen now in AEW. Let's get this company back on track. That's what I really want to say.
Yeah.
Now, does that start tonight? I don't know. I don't know. Because this crowd could get wild. The show is not really, great on paper. Who knows? But we'll see.
I have to run my wrestling company, so I don't give a damn about anything else at this point. Punk's not in my show, so.
Yeah. But guys, that's it. I'm actually kind of, happy that we did this in under an hour and a half. This is good. I hope you guys enjoyed what you heard. I mean, these are our legit, real thoughts and opinions on this whole situation. It looks like Mox and Cassie are going to be the main event of tonight's show, which is honestly a great decision. I think that's fantastic. Mox and Cassie are going to be the main event of the show. I think that's a great decision, personally. But, that's going to be a great thing to see. Now, just running down this card real quick, other than the 3 buy-in matches, which, again, TK, you don't need to do that. There are 10 matches on the main card. 10 matches on the main card. Now, I'm just going to go over what these matches are, because these matches aren't really all the best. But including the buy-in, we got Athena, Mercedes Martinez, and Diamante taking on Hikaru Shida, Willow Nightingale, and Sky Blue in a 6-woman tag team match.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's the main event. That's my main event. Oh, fuck.
Wild. That's on the buy-in. That's on the buy-in.
Oh,
and
I would be buying in.
An over budget battle royal. I don't know what the fuck that means, but all the participants are to be determined. I don't know what over budget means. That's weird.
It's gonna be a whole bunch of budget cuts. A bunch of fucking Dolph Ziggler's brother and shit.
Anybody who's eliminated gets budget cuts. Anybody who gets eliminated is fired.
That's hilarious. If you get eliminated, you're fired too. That's hilarious. They're fighting for their life.
Everybody's gonna be fighting for their job at that point. Anybody's gonna get eliminated. Everybody's gonna fight for their job at that point.
Yeah, that's funny.
Everybody's gonna fight for their job at that point, bro. The acclaimed and Anthony Caster, Anthony Caster. That's it. Anthony Bowens and Max Caster with Billy Gunn. They are defending their AEW World Trios Championships against the team. Oh, and by the way, guys, Dennis Rodman will be in the Acclaim's corner.
Yes,
he's gonna be in their corner. He's not in the match. But Dennis Rodman is going to be in the corner of the Acclaimed as they take on Jeff Jarrett. They're taking on Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal.
That might be good television.
Great. You legitimately took the Trios Championships off the House of Black to make pink straps so that they can scissor with the championships to go up against Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh. That's great, AEW. You didn't.
Hey, man.
That was a terrible decision on Sunday. Luchasaurus defends the TNT championship against Darby Allin. That should be good. I like Darby. I like what he does. I like Christian Cage. If you have a father, I'm sorry. Christian Cage is going to bury him to no demand.
Oh God.
Miro taking on Powerhouse Hobbs. That should be just a good Hoss battle. I like Powerhouse Hobbs. I like Miro. Could be cool. Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho for the TBS Championship. Chris Statlander's championship run, just like Jade Cargill's, hasn't been really all that exciting.
I was going to say that.
We haven't seen her.
What the fuck?
We have not seen Chris Statlander in forever, it seems. So what happened?
Oh man.
Chris Statlander, just like Jade Cargill, has not been doing the TBS Championship justice. And I'm sorry, Laf, I know you like Jade, but Jade Cargill's 500+ day reign was bad.
Nah, fuck that. Everyone's telling me Chris Statlander was about to just kill this shit. I forgot she had the belt. So what the fuck?
Bryan Danielson is back as he's going to be taking on Ricky Starks in a strap match.
Oh shit. Yo, you know what'd be crazy? You know what'd be fucking crazy? If Ricky won with the same spot that Bray did with the strap, I will fucking jump out of my house.
Oh wait, yeah, because of their strap match. Yeah, yep, I know what you're talking about. Yep. We got Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita, which, if given the right time, that could be a match of the year candidate. I'm telling you right now, Takeshita and Omega gonna be fucking killing it. Bullet Club Gold in the Guns. Juice Robinson, who is, by the way, rock hard, and Jay White taking on FTR and the Young Bucks in an 8-man tag team match.
Oh God.
FTR and the Young Bucks teaming up, bro.
Why? Fucking why?
After everything, the whole CM Punk situation too, you're teaming them up?
That should be fun. I guess.
Better Than You, baby. And Adam Cole and MJF will be defending their Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships against the winners of the Battle Royal that happened on Friday's Rampage, which was the Dark Order, and John Silver and Alex Reynolds. Why? I don't care. I think this is all just to further some sort of storyline between MJF and Adam Cole. Samoa Joe versus Shane Taylor for the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Samoa Joe defending. I don't know much about Shane Taylor, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty good. Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata taking on Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta of the BCC. Could be good. And then in the main event, which was already confirmed, Orange Cassidy defending the International Championship against Jon Moxley.
Boo.
Half Ring of Honor, half AEW. Half Ring of Honor, half AEW. That's what you get.
If Mox loses, I'm
now. Why are you booing Orange?
Because
now, why are you booing Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley? You don't think that match is going to be good?
No.
Oh, you're just saying fuck Orange Cassidy, not Mox.
Yes, that. Boo Orange Cassidy.
Okay.
Mox better win. Damn it.
Mox better win that shit. Mox better win. He needs to destroy him, honestly.
That's what I'm saying.
He needs to destroy him.
He tried to cut that nut ass promo, finally talking normal. Thought he was gonna do something. Shut up, Orange Cassidy.
They tried to humanize him that night, which
that
it's cool that you're making him at least care about something. But it's cool that you're trying to make him care about something other than just not caring at all. But you did that way too late in his run. You could have done this. You could have done this months ago. That promo to really make people think, all right, well, shit, he's actually caring about this championship. But you did this too late. You did this too late. And now he has to lose his championship to Jon Moxley. And we gotta see where it goes. Now, Joseph, I did see your question earlier about do you think the fans of Chicago will hijack this show? Laugh and I are hoping so.
Fuck the whole shit
Because we're
up.
just gonna be laughing our asses off if it happens.
Fuck the whole shit up. See what happens.
So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we'll see. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm Orange Cassidy, and I don't have a catchphrase. That's probably gonna be his catchphrase now.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous. But yeah, those are the matches for All Out. Fuck, Tony, don't do this. I know you already planned it, that you're doing it again next year, but don't do this. Put All Out a couple weeks ahead, or honestly, to me, get rid of All Out. You don't have to have tradition. Fuck tradition. Your new tradition now, All In. Fuck All Out. Get rid of the back-to-back pay-per-views, because the back-to-back pay-per-views don't work. It's going to be a great night of in-ring action. Nobody's denying that. But back-to-back pay-per-views, never the right plan. Should have never happened. Guys, that's it. I guess that was a little bit of a preview to All Out tonight too. Not really a prediction show, but I will be doing a Payback review on this channel. I won't be doing an All Out review. I'm sorry. This All Out card just doesn't really need that. But I will be talking about, All Out and everything as we, continue to just see what unfolds. So stay tuned for all social medias when it comes to that. But this show wasn't really technically needed for it, but Payback, I'd be down to talk to you about Payback if you did get a chance to watch it on your own, considering what was on yesterday's broadcast.
Yeah, bro.
So I'm gonna be watching that shit, before we can, and then we can just talk about Payback, in a general sense, whenever we could. Because, I mean, I feel like that show definitely does need to be talked about, because that show was a lot better than a lot of people thought it was going to be. I just didn't get a chance to watch it, by myself yet, considering, things happened today. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
So no All Out review tonight. I just think that's best for everybody. Then we can start this whole new week, and we'll talk Payback when we can, honestly. Because what's the next show? Fastlane? And I don't think that's until like October. So we got a little bit of time before that. So
sounds good to me.
Good stuff, guys. So all right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good rest of the night. Thank you for, joining us here. I appreciate everybody that was either new to the show that popped in, that has been here since day one, popped in. Look, guys, CM Punk, whether you were a fan of him or whether or not, I think Tony Khan made the correct decision. I think Tony Khan did what was best for him and his company, and to the people that works with his company. Whether you want to watch AEW now that CM Punk is no longer there, that is your prerogative. But I've been a fan of AEW since day one. I'm always going to be that. I'm always going to watch his company. Let's see where it goes from here, guys. Well, if you have anything else to say before we get the hell out of here.
Goodbye,
CM Punk related, AEW related, whatever happens.
CM Punk, go home and be a family man. Your time is up. You're washed. It's over. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Gang shit. And always remember, Jeff Hardy always wins. Gang shit.
There you go. There you go. All right, guys. We'll talk to you sometime down the line. Have a good rest of the night. Stay safe. God bless. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on the bell for all notifications. Follow us on social media. Everything that you need is down there in the description below. So go down there, do what you need to do. Hit the like button, please. Hit that like button. There should be no reason why we have not seen 10 likes yet on this video. And we'll talk to you guys as soon as we possibly can, guys. Peace.